All right, hello guys, and welcome to week 3 of the Open Mic Night. This is where we're just going to talk about whatever we want to, whatever happened in the week, whatever we want to talk about, as well as answer your questions. So if you guys have any questions, you can definitely leave comments in the video, in the YouTube video. If you are on my website, you can actually click on that video and it'll take you to the YouTube page and you can leave comments. You can also tweet at me. I will see those during the show as well, and that's at MWeger. But today, the thing I kind of wanted to focus on was kind of showing you guys how I do tutorials. A lot of people ask me what kind of programs I use and what kind of things I do on my computer to make all my tutorials that I do, especially on the iPhone and the iPad. And there's a few apps that make it really easy, and I think I kind of wanted to share those with you guys and show you how I do those. So I guess to start off the show tonight, we will go ahead and I'll show you one of the apps that I really like, and it's called Reflector. And so actually I can just show you guys my screen real quick, and alrighty. So the first app I want to show you guys, get those out of the way, is called Reflector. And so I'm going to open it up here. And what it is, you can't see anything now because it's just the app is open, but what Reflector does, Reflector's I think $13 on the internet, and what it does, it allows your computer to pretty much be an AirPlay screen. So if you guys know what AirPlay is, if you have an Apple TV and you want to put your iPhone up on the TV, you can use AirPlay, and it's built in to the features. And so I will do it from my iPad real quick here. Let's turn AirPlay on. All right, so as you guys can see, let's see here. There we go. So as you guys can see, this is my iPad, and it is live, and it is on the screen. And so when I'm making tutorial videos, a lot of times I'll use this app, and I will actually go into full screen mode, like such. And I'll just record my screen with another software like QuickTime or something like that. But I can swipe through, I can really do whatever I want, go into settings and do all sorts of just tutorials on how to do certain things. And so that's the first app I use. Works out really, really well. Really like it. And so let's get out of that. And let's quit. And the second app I kind of wanted to show you was ScreenFlow. But I think I'll just talk about it instead of showing you because it's a little confusing to show you. And really, if you guys have any questions, you can just ask me about it. But what ScreenFlow is ScreenFlow is an application that lets you record your screen and you at the same time. So it turns on your webcam and it also records your screen. It's great for making tutorials. And a lot of times I will turn on Reflector and I'll have my iPhone up on the screen or my iPad up on the screen. And then I'll also run ScreenFlow. ScreenFlow is $100. It's in the App Store. You can actually get it on sale sometimes, though. I got mine for $50. So just check back and see when they're doing sales. But it's a really good application. It's actually a pro-level consumer application. And so it's kind of that mid-tier between if iMovie's not doing it for you and you want something a little bit more expensive but maybe don't want to go with the pro end. This is kind of a prosumer app, I guess. It's $100. And it's really good for editing, really good for recording at the same time with your webcam. A lot of time the problems is you want to record your screen, you want to make a tutorial, you want to teach people how to do stuff, but then you have to go in later and add in your audio and the video on you. Or you have to record them at the same time and then sync them up later. ScreenFlow takes care of all that. It also allows you to do really cool editing, like when you can move different shots to all different angles. You can have different backgrounds behind it. You can do green screen. You can do a bunch of stuff with ScreenFlow. But for its most basic functionality, I just mainly use it for the ability to record from the webcam and the desktop at the same time. So those are the two apps I really do like for recording on the recording tutorials. The next thing I kind of want to talk about tonight was, if you guys heard about the Android drones, not the Android drones, the Amazon drones. Jeff Bezos on 60 Minutes, I think it was last week, came on and said that he wants to allow Amazon to deliver within 30 minutes of you making an order. And that would be used by drones. So pretty much, if you guys have seen the quadcopters flying drones, one of those would be delivering I think it was 5 pounds or under. That's probably too high. That sounds too high. I don't know what it is. I think it was 5 pounds though. 5 pounds or under package, and they can deliver it right to your house. Obviously, this is way in the future, something that's not happening yet, something that's not even close to happening. First of all, just because of the practicality of it, these machines have batteries and they can only probably go within 10 miles, I think is what they said. So there would need to be a distribution center within 10 miles of most of their customers for them to start doing this. Secondly, the legal issues, we're definitely not even close to getting close. We're definitely not close to having the ability to put all these drones in the air. If you think of how many drones Amazon would need to be delivering all these different packages, there's a lot of legal issues there as well that'll stop them from doing that. But still, something cool, something to... I like when companies look into the future and they're not afraid to throw money into research and development for things that aren't practical right now. A lot of companies, I think, are really worried about the now and what can we do now. And I think a lot of companies like Amazon and Google and Apple, the reason they're so successful is because they always look to the future. They pretty much show their consumers what the consumers want. They don't wait for the consumers to say, because as consumers, we're always late. And so they kind of always are on the forefront of the next best thing because they put the money into research and development, which I think is pretty cool. But I just want, that Amazon drone store was very cool. Even though it's not going to happen, even though it's nothing that's going to be happening in the near future, I still think it's pretty fun. So let's see here. What was one of the questions I had? One of the tips I did have, though, for the iPhone was that when you're taking a photo, I see a lot of people when they're taking photos and maybe they're facing them towards you, so taking a selfie, or if you're taking a picture of a group and maybe you're facing it backwards, or even if you're just holding the camera regularly. Did you guys know that you can just press the volume up button and that snaps a photo? It was something that I learned a while back, and I think it's been a feature since iOS 6, maybe iOS 5. I'm not sure when they added it in, but if you're taking a photo and instead of clicking the screen, which can be kind of hard to find the button, especially if you're not looking right at the screen, you can just tap the volume up button and that will snap a photo. Something cool, something just simple that I thought you guys would like if you guys don't know that already. The other thing I was going to talk about tonight, was I recently installed a Cups printer server on my Raspberry Pi. So a print server, pretty much what it is it runs on a computer. And so I have a Raspberry Pi, which I think I talked about the other week when I did a show. It's basically a $35 Linux box, and you don't have to have a monitor to it. And so if it has power, it's always on, and you don't need to have a monitor. So it's very low power consumption. If you have it connected to your network, it can be a quote-unquote always-on device, and you can set it up to be a server. So what I did was I installed Cups, which I think is Common something printing Linux something. Sorry, I don't know the exact name, and I have not looked it up. Let's just look it up here just so I can have it. I don't want to tell you guys something wrong. That's a great thing about this being live, too, is you guys are doing this with me. Let's see. I should know this. I just set it up, and I cannot remember what the acronym stands for. Okay, Common Unix Printing System. That's what it is, Common Unix Printing System. So what it is a program you can install on an always-on device or even on a computer. I installed on my Raspberry Pi, and it makes any network printers or any printers that are plugged into that device, it loads from an open source system all the print drivers. And so each individual computer doesn't need to be able to load the driver to use the printer. Now, the main reason I did this is because I have my iPhone and my iPad, and I want to be able to print. Well, I have a very old HP LaserJet printer that's obviously not AirPrint ready. If you guys have ever tried printing from your iPhone or iPad, you've obviously probably seen, there's no printers ready, and Apple will say you need to go buy an AirPrint ready printer. Well, with the Cups server, I have my old HP LaserJet, and it's plugged into my Airport Express, and the Cups server goes and searches your network, so it found my printer. And it makes, along with one other piece of software, it makes it so that your iPhone and iPad can find that printer and actually print to it with AirPrint. It's really cool. Because like I said, with the Cups, it loads all of those print drivers from an open source, stores it on that server, and does not require the computer or whatever device is printing to it to have that driver installed. Really nice, especially if you are using maybe a computer with that software is out of date or it can't be used anymore. I know on the Mac, actually, with my certain HP model, that software for that exact model is not available on the Mac anymore. It was actually taken off. And there is a workaround on the Mac. You can install a different version for different style printer and it actually works. But with the Cups print server, it actually works even better because you don't need to go out and find that software. You don't need to install it. The server takes care of everything. And so if you have an always-on device or if you want to install it on your computer, there's some commercial products out there, little boxes actually that you can plug into your network and it makes your printers AirPrint ready. Well, those devices are extremely expensive. I want to say in the $100 range, even more. And so if you guys are looking for a simple solution to be able to AirPrint from your iPad or your iPhone, and you have a computer that's pretty much always on in your house, it doesn't need to be a Raspberry Pi or anything like that. It could be an iMac that you have on. Probably wouldn't work as well if you have like a notebook computer or a laptop because simply, those go to sleep a lot or you close them or you take them out of the house. It really needs to be a computer that you have in your house all the time so that your devices can always connect to it. But if you guys have any questions on that, definitely send me an email. I will put my email down below and you can tweet at me or email me. And all those, I love answering those. And I know I am backed up a little bit. If you've emailed me or tweeted me in the last 2 weeks, I'm slowly getting back to those. I was in the midst of law school finals the past 2 weeks, so I'm sorry I'm backed up. If you have emailed me or tweeted at me, I will get back to you sometime in the next week, and definitely before the end of the weekend, I will get back to you, and I'm sorry about that. But those are just a few things that I want to talk about tonight. Again, I just love doing these short and sweet live shows, 7 o'clock on Tuesdays. Next week we won't do this, it being Christmas Eve. And the following week, I will let you guys know via my social media what I'm going to do because it is New Year's Eve. And I am not going to do a show on New Year's Eve, but I still want to do one that week. So maybe we'll move it to Monday or Thursday. I don't want to do it on New Year's Day either, but I'll just let you guys know on that. So if you guys have not checked out my website yet, I really would love you guys to go there. There's a lot of cool stuff happening that I'm starting up right now. Obviously, I just started this live show, and if you have any comments on how the live show goes, or if you want to see things in the live show that you're not seeing, if you want me to address certain things, if you want me to do more news, if people like news on a daily basis or on a weekly basis, that's great. Let me know. And all the way to contact me, all that information is on my website, as well as my new podcast. I did start a new podcast, and it's Uyghur Tech Weekly, and that is usually published every Friday. And so I'm actually going to be recording that this week, and it's the second episode. I had a pilot episode come out 2 weeks ago, and I let it kind of run for 2 weeks just to see kind of what people thought about it, got some comments back on it. And so week number 2, and it's going to be a weekly thing, and it's a lot easier for me to do because it's just audio. And so sometimes with audio and video, both, on these YouTube shows, it can be a little harder to do. But with my podcast, I can go for a lot longer duration. You can pause, fast forward, rewind me all you want. You don't need to be watching me live and sit through all my talk if you don't want to. So I would really suggest you guys go check out the podcast. I do a news section. I do a pick of the weeks section. So I pick a few things each week, like an app or a device, maybe a piece of hardware that you can go out and grab, a website, a podcast. I just have a pick, and I have a few of them each week, and stuff that I think you guys would like. If you guys like generally the same sort of stuff like I do, a lot of technology stuff, things for tech news, things for anything related to technology, really. I just have a lot of great picks on there. And then usually we have a tip for the community, which is, like I said tonight, actually I might have stole my tip for this week's podcast, which with the camera and the volume up button. But so go check out my podcast. That's at UyghurTech.com/podcast. But just go to UyghurTech.com and it's all there. And contact me, email me, tweet me. I'll put that information back up right now. And so contact me. I love it when I hear from people. And I know I actually have a lot of comments going up on some of my old YouTube videos. And so I have a couple on the AirDrop video. I noticed that people were commenting and they're kind of mad that my AirDrop video was not how to AirDrop between iPhones or iPhones and iPads. Well, when I made that video, AirDrop was just on the computers. AirDrop was just between two laptops, 2 desktops, whatever, 2 OS X devices, not iOS devices. So I'm sorry about that. If you guys are watching those videos and frustrated, that is why. And I will make a new video on how to AirDrop between iOS devices. I will make a new one, just to let you guys know about that. So I think that's going to wrap it up tonight, guys. Talked about some stuff. I don't think I had any questions come in during the show. I think I kept up on that. So if you guys have any questions, though, let me know and send them in because not next week, 2 weeks from now, we'll be having another show, and I can answer those questions live during the show while I talk to you. Also, you can always ask your question live, but I do like it when you guys send in questions ahead of time. That gives me a little time to prep, a little time to get ready for them. But you guys have a great night, and I hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight, and keep in touch. But as always, have a good week.